Hello everyone, I am Libin Francis, Assistant Professor with Department of History. Today I will be dealing with the topic in the modern Indian history, the British expansion in India with a particular focus on the Bengal region. Bengal is a vast tract of land with abundant resources including fertile agricultural land as well as mineral resources, and is blessed with two major great river systems, Ganges and Brahmaputra. Consequently, the region had turned into the attention of various European companies, mainly the British and the French. Britain had established its base in the Bengal region around 1640s, and the French East India Company later on. The history of Bengal in the modern Indian period starts from the time of 1707, the year which marked the death of Aurangzeb, the last powerful Mughal emperor in India. After the death of Aurangzeb, the successors to the throne of Aurangzeb, like Farrukhsiyar, who ruled in the decade of 1710s, were not capable to restrict the activities of the British East India Company in India. Instead, they tried to pacify the company by giving them the trade rights like dastaks and farmans given by Farrukhsiyar, which is termed as the Magna Carta of British East India Company in establishing their base in India. But the Nawabs of Bengal was actually a provincial region under the Mughal Empire, and the Nawabs, who were the governors ruled in the Bengal region, were more conservative in allowing the company in a controlled manner to trade in the Bengal region. The Nawabs like Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan, and later Siraj-ud-Dawla tried to impose several restrictions in the trade activities of the company, because they knew that company had been exploiting the rights given by Farrukhsiyar by granting the company's servants to conduct private trade as well as to establish the monopoly over the Indian producers, which went against the interest of the state as such. So the Nawabs had always keenly observing the activities of the British East India Company in India, and once there occurred a conflict of interest in an intensive form when British East India Company started constructing the forts around the factories as a measure to protect itself from the attacks of their enemies, mainly the French East India Company. And France also tried to fortify their region at Chandarnagar, and once Nawab came to know the news of the fortification, he ordered to stop the fortifications right now, but the order was denied by British East India Company, although it was accepted by the French. So Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla, who came to the throne in 1756 only, had made a daring attack on the forts of the British East India Company at Kazim Bazar and the Calcutta region. And there happened an incident called Black Hole tragedy, in which the British account says that around 1,000 British people were killed by confining them in an airtight compartment in the Calcutta region. So, in a spirit of retaliation, Robert Clive was called back from Madras to Bengal, who was there in Madras as part of the Carnatic Wars. And Robert Clive was entrusted to give a retaliation to Siraj-ud-Dawla, and what he did was he conspired with the people who were against the Nawab in his own court, like Ghazidi Begum, the aunt of Nawab, as well as Raj Ballabh, the Diwan, and Mir Jafar, the military commander of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla. Mir Jafar was offered with Nawabship after the battle. Mir Jafar was earlier suspended by Nawab, accusing him of treachery, but was called back at the time of the war between British East India Company, and the decision had costed the life of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla itself. And what happened in the Battle of Plassey in 1757 was that the event was totally a match fixed one, because once the war began, the session of army under Mir Jafar was deliberately kept away from they moved away from the battle scene and was easily won by the army of British, which was around only thousands against 10,000s of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla's army. And what happened in the war was a total treachery, totally a fixed one, because the army session under Mir Jafar turned away from the battlefield, and the war was easily won by the British East India Company within a few hours of the battle. So Nawab Sirajuddaula was captured and put to death, and Mir Jafar was placed as the new Nawab. And as part of the agreement between Mir Jafar and Robert Clive, a huge amount of lakhs of rupees was paid to British East India Company, and the right of revenue of 24 parganas in the Calcutta region was also given to British East India Company. So the significance of Battle of Plassey is that it was acted as a door opener for British East India Company to the vast geographical tract of India, starting from the Bengal. It is because more than Carnatic region, it was the Bengal region which acted as the most important established base of British East India Company in India for another 150 years. And the resources of the Bengal were brutally exploited in the advantage of British East India Company, and were used to control other regions of India as well. What happened after Nawab Mir Jafar was placed was that went against the interest of British East India Company, because Mir Jafar finally realized that how exploitative was the British East India Company and how difficult to manage the interest of the British East India Company in the Bengal region. So he started the policies against the British East India Company, like he restricted the trade monopoly of the British East India Company, as well as he promoted the trade activities of the other traders apart from the company traders. So Mir Jafar also turned unacceptable for the British East India Company, and consequently they tried to change the Nawabship from Mir Jafar to Mir Qasim, who was the cousin of Mir Jafar, by the governor of the period, Henry Van Stiedt, who termed the change as a 1760 revolution, which they projected as it would benefit the cause of the Bengal in general, but it was actually for the interest of the British. And what Mir Qasim did was also the repetition of history. He was initially favored British by giving them large sums of land, as well as a huge indemnity for the supporting the cause of Mir Qasim. But later he also realized the exploitative nature of British East India Company, and also tried to take another policies against the company by allowing all the traders to trade freely in the Bengal region without paying the taxes, which destroyed the monopoly of British East India Company. So Mir Qasim was attacked by the British East India Company officers, and he was haunted by the British East India Company, and he finally fled away from Bengal, taking shelter in the Awadh region, where Nawab Shujauddaula was there, who had also feelings against British East India Company, and both of them were joined with Shah Alam II, the contemporary Mughal Empire at Delhi. The three had made an alliance against British East India Company and had fought in the battle named Battle of Buxar in 1764. The Buxar is a place in the Bihar, in the present Bihar, and in the war, which was decisive one for both the parties, was brutally won by British East India Company with the strength, by proving the strength of their arms. And the comparison between the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar was that when the Battle of Plassey was just the victory of a conspiracy or a success of an intrigue, the Battle of Buxar was actually proved the might of the British arms against the alliance formed by three Indian rulers, the most important Indian rulers. So Battle of Buxar was actually a fortune maker for British East India Company, and the vast tracts of land right from the Delhi up to the Bengal region were given to British East India Company for the revenue extraction, and Robert Clive was granted governorship in the Bengal, and there started the rule of British East India, direct rule of British East India Company in India. And the company which came to India was a commercial entity just before the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar, which turned into a political entity right after the battles. So this is the significance of the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, and the event had opened the vast resource-rich region of Bengal for the British exploitation, and consequently that there emerged an expression named Bengal was a sponsored state as well as a plundered state, because all the policies had an evolution from the Bengal region, and consequently it is denoted as a sponsored state, but all the intentions of the policies was actually the plunder of the resources. So the Bengal, which is presently the most poverty stricken region, the most thickly populated region with the poverty rate at its high, was actually the result of the British exploitation in India. So both the events are significant milestones in the British expansion in India.